I came across a slightly interesting video this morning, and I just kind of want to play it because I want to show that there is two sides of every story.
Do you want to see photos of me while I was being trafficked to a billionaire? Okay. What you don't see in those photos is that I'm an actual hostage. What do you mean by hostage? Let me tell you. I wasn't in control of the doctors I saw, the medications I took, or really anything else in my life. In fact, everything was leveraged by him for control. Had fake doctors make medication recommendations for me. There's me with him again in a billionaire's house. It was so odd that he didn't work, but I did. I wasn't allowed to sit at the dinner table unless I obeyed. You want to know the signs? Obedience was muddied with love. Filling his needs were more important than anything else. Requiring other partners in the bedroom. Shaming you for what he arranged. The reason that we catch only a fraction of 1% of human traffickers globally, worldwide, is because it's you. It's me. It's us. It's happening in American households all over the country. It's you and it's me. What does it look like? This. Do you want to see photos of...
Okay, I find this very fascinating because this woman looks completely mad. Like, to me, she looks insane. She looks like she's got mental problems, and I get a completely different view from this. I mean, if I break it down, I'll tell you how I actually think.
Me while I was being trafficked to a billionaire?
Okay, she's talking about sex trafficking. Now, sex trafficking is a very serious crime. It's for me, it's where you steal humans and lock them up and then force them to have sex with people. Okay, there might be different varieties of it. You know, you could take them from one country to the other because they want a better life, and then you try and guilt them into thinking that they owe you lots and lots of money, and then you say, oh, well, the hotel is worth this much, and we spend, and you start lying about all the things that you're spending in hopes of trying to, like, there's that kind of grooming trafficking, and then there's literally just you're a slave, and so there is two different types of trafficking, but this isn't trafficking. This is some woman who's obviously a gold digger. That's my view. She's some sort of gold digger who's got mental problems.
What you don't see in those photos?
Okay, in that picture, you can't really see it very clearly, but the guy looks pretty normal and looks like a happy family. I'm assuming she's got kids with him. I don't know if they're her kids or if they're someone else's, but it doesn't matter. I think that there was nothing wrong with that picture. She's trying to explain what trafficking looks like, and she shows a pretty decent picture of that. Just looks like a normal family.
Is that I'm an actual hostage.
And then she shows this picture with her looking like a hostage. I'm just thinking the opposite. I'm thinking actually he looks pretty decent, and those clothes look amazing. It's luminous green, I think that's jeans, luminous green jeans with a nice pattern, flowery pattern. I would love those clothes. If I had a guy that would buy me clothes like that, I would be so happy. And she does kind of look a little bit like a gold digger. You know, here's my prize, this is my wallet, and the guy looks, he just looks like a normal guy, to be honest, but whatever.
What do you mean by hostage? Let me tell you. I wasn't in control of the doctors I saw, the medications I took, or really anything else in my life.
You do know that if you're mentally ill and are going through problems, you have to see a doctor, and they do control because you don't know what's wrong with your mental health. So you turn to a doctor, and you can't really blame your husband for the doctor. I mean, I've heard of some cases where a husband pays a doctor to diagnose someone as being mentally ill, but they usually do it so they can steal the kids away. They don't usually do it to try and control you. It doesn't make sense. She's calling this sex trafficking and saying that she had no control over the medication that she took. Well, no mentally ill person. My uncle didn't really have any control over the medication he took because he's not a doctor. He doesn't know what kind of medication he needs. And was he given the right stuff? Probably not. I think he was mostly just given tranquilizers. So I think it was fake, a fake cure, because I think stupidity was his main problem, and I think with this lady, she has some sort of need, some sort of gold digger's need to always try and reach higher, always try and get more, never appreciate what you got. You know, that to me seems like the type of person that she is. Someone who can live in a massive mansion, be given really nice clothes, and be bought so much nice stuff, and have everything you could possibly want, but yet still be depressed. So turn to the doctors, and now she's just like re-seeing it, rethinking it. Oh, I wasn't allowed to choose which doctor. The guy was paying, and he just said, okay, let's go with this one, and you were just like, okay, because I don't know what else doctor. I think she's seeing it very incorrectly. I think it's very possible for you to live your life and just think, okay, I don't really know what decision to make, so I'm going to let someone else make the decision, and if he's paying, then that's fine. You know, I would have no problem with that. And then maybe you look back and think, I didn't have the choice, and then you think, well, did you know what other choice you would have gone through? Like, did you know any other doctors that you would have gone to? If I needed to see a doctor, I wouldn't know which doctor to choose. So it's not like I have a choice. It's just that I don't know what the options are, and I don't care. Just someone that can help me. And okay, maybe you probably were given diagnosed wrong. I think a lot of mentally ill doctors don't give. They treat their patients as if they're mentally ill, rather than accept the fact that maybe they're just stupid or greedy or just unhappy, or just someone that always wants more, never appreciating what you've got. You know, that's just a selfish attitude. It's not something that medication can fix.
In fact, everything was leveraged by him for control.
Well, if he's paying it, then you'd expect him to.
And fake doctors make medication recommendations for me.
Yeah, well, again, that's not his fault. You can't blame him for the recommendation and the doctor's stuff that he had. And I don't know. He looks like a pretty normal guy, and she just looks like someone she looks pretty. She looks like she's trying to be a glamour model. But yeah, I don't want to say anything negative about her looks. I'm just saying that she looks like there's something that she's not reaching. There's things that she wants and she can't get it. And I don't think she knows what it is. I think a lot of people who chase after wealth don't realize that wealth is not actually going to bring them happiness. What brings them happiness is knowing what makes you happy and seeking what makes you happy.
There's me with him again in a billionaire's house.
I hate how she's actually saying, there's me again in a billionaire's house. And okay, the picture is literally just with a normal wall with a small light or something, but it's just it doesn't show the house. It's just the way she's talking about it. There's me in a billionaire's house. Like, what are you trying to prove? Are you trying to prove that you're some sort of victim because there's a picture of you in a house that doesn't even look like a millionaire's house? It just looks like a wall. But I don't know, but this whole video to me is just mental illness. She is displaying mental illness, how she's dressed, her hair flicked over like that, being all cocky whilst also trying to say that you're a victim, whilst trying to say that you had no choice, and yet you're saying that it wasn't your partner that made the choice, it was the doctors that were making the choices for you. You're trying to blame your partner for sex trafficking, so why are you accusing the doctors of being the ones that weren't giving you a choice?
So odd that he didn't work, but I did.
And that's weird. It's so odd how he worked and I did. That's a good thing. You don't want to work. Why would you want to work? You obviously don't have that many skills. You're probably going to get a low time, an average £10 an hour job or something. Why work when you don't have to? I don't know. What is she going on about? She's complaining about not having to work. Not working is a good thing. If someone else can bring in the money, then you don't have to go to work.
I wasn't allowed to sit at the dinner table unless I obeyed.
Yeah, or maybe you just had some big arguments and he was saying you're only allowed to sit at this dinner table if you make up for the arguments and whatever. I can imagine things getting like, you're not doing this, you're not feeling my needs, you're not, and he's just being angry and saying, yeah, you're not welcome on my dinner table unless you apologize or something. I can imagine it turning into that, and she's just turning it into something completely different. This is mental illness for me.
You want to know the signs? Obedience was muddied with love.
So you want to know the signs of mental illness, where someone claims that everything was so terrible, and yet all they're showing is pictures that look fairly happy. There looks like there's nothing wrong with these pictures. They just look like happy family pictures. This is an example of mental illness. This is not an example of sex trafficking.
Filling his needs were more important than anything else.
No, I think the problem is you filling your needs. That is more important than anything else. You wanted to fulfill your needs, and he wasn't fulfilling your needs because of your mental illness, and he couldn't fulfill your needs because of your mental illness. And now you're just trying to take all the problems that lie in you and trying to blame it on someone else.
Requiring other partners in the bedroom.
Well, that can be quite interesting. There's nothing wrong with having an interesting sex life.
Requiring other partners in the
I
bedroom.
have to like that picture though. She looks really hot.
Shaming you for what he arranged.
I like that. I like that bikini. But I wouldn't want to wear the stringy one. But I do like that bikini. She looked very good in that. What was that bit? I just missed it.
For what he arranged.
Shaming her for what he had arranged. I can imagine though it turning. He arranges something. Things go his way, and then afterwards I can imagine it turning into an argument. Oh, I didn't want to do this. Well, you agreed to it, and so I can imagine it just being turned into a completely different scenario. You agree to it at the time, you think it's interesting, and then afterwards you change your mind, and then it turns into an argument. And I'm confused about this picture because I'm pretty sure that's not the same person that he's been showing. This looks like her with a different guy, but I'm not sure that is.
The reason that we catch only a fraction of 1% of human traffickers globally worldwide is because it's you. It's me.
I would say it's because it's people with mental illness who think that they've been trafficked when really they haven't been trafficked. They've just turned the story upside down. He didn't allow me to sit on the dinner table unless I obeyed him. Or maybe she just had a massive argument with him and threw something at him, and he was angry over how she acted or how she behaved. I mean, she's not acting normal in this video. She is acting completely mad in this video, and it really pisses me off because was married to a billionaire. I mean, that the sort of lifestyle that you can have, the sort of things that the positive things that you can get. I don't understand how someone can turn being married to a billionaire into I was trafficked by a billionaire. I think it's terrible because she does look like someone who absolutely wanted that at the time, and now and maybe the illness has sort of taken effect in her head, and now she's seeing everything differently. The relationship's fallen apart, and maybe he now hates her and wants nothing to do with her, and now she's trying to get revenge by not revenge porn, but it's revenge victim blaming or revenge. But yeah. I don't think there is a victim here. I just think I think she's gone mentally ill, and it's strange how a lot of people would see this and just be like, "Oh my God, this is so horrible." But yes, it's making me think of how jealous I am over her because I would love to have a nice big house and a nice pool and a bunch of nice clothes, and I don't want medication because I don't believe that there's any kind of medication that can cure whatever it is that I've got, because whatever it is I've got is not my problem. It's just how mentally ill everyone else is. But they do say if you think everyone else is mentally ill, it could be that the problem is with you. But yeah, not in this case. In this case, I'm pretty sure the mental illness is just in everyone else and not me. But anyway, I would still like this necklace, but I still want a glass one. If someone can get me a glass version of that would be really nice. But yeah, it's making me. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not assuming anything's going to happen this year, which means that I might have a whole nother year to wait, which I absolutely hate that thought. But I'm just wanting a big house one day. In America somewhere, and then just to forget about the whole world, and I don't know what else to say because I don't like people now.